Welcome back my YouTube channel worth old coin value. Today, we're going to talk about one of the most interesting and valuable in this coin 1985 South African 50 cents coin, a coin that's not only filled with historical significance, but also an unbelievable value, potentially reaching up to $1 million asterisk. Yes, you heard that right. Stay tuned as we explore everything you need to know about this remarkable piece of history. Let's dive in. Before we talk about its mind-blowing value, let's break down the basics of this coin. The 1985 South African 50 cents coin was part of the series that was introduced in 1961, and it was minted as part of the coinage of South Africa during the time of the apartheid regime. Now, the design on this coin is really quite special. The 50 cents coin features the iconic springbok, a symbol of South Africa's wildlife, on its reverse side. This animal is a national symbol of the country and has been featured on various coins and currency for decades. On the obverse side, we have the portrait of Jan van Riebeeck, the Dutch colonial administrator who is widely regarded as the founder of Cape Colony, which is now modern-day South Africa. He is depicted in traditional attire of the 17th century. Now, this coin was produced in a standard cupronickel alloy, which makes it durable and resistant to corrosion. It weighs about 13.3 grams with a diameter of 30 millimeters. So this is quite a hefty coin in your hands, giving it a real sense of value. But why is this coin worth so much today? Let's get into the history behind its incredible worth. In 1985, South Africa was facing significant political and social unrest, largely due to the apartheid system that was still in full effect. The country was also under heavy international sanctions, with many nations imposing trade embargoes and boycotts. During this time, the country's mint continued to produce currency, but certain coins were produced in limited quantities as part of special collections, making them far rarer than others. And that's where our coin enters the story. The 1985 South African 50 cents coin was actually produced in such a limited quantity that it quickly became a highly sought-after collector's item. The standard mintage was much smaller than anticipated, and some believe that many of these coins were melted down due to low demand at the time. However, a handful of them survived, and it wasn't until much later that their true value is recognized. Let's talk about rarity. The value of a coin is often determined by how many of them still exist in good condition. The 1985 South Africa 50 cents coin was initially not regarded as a major collector's item, and only recently, collectors started to realize how rare the coin was due to its limited production and the circumstances surrounding its release. However, a few years ago, a few pristine examples of this coin were discovered in various private collections. Some of these coins were graded at MS 67 or higher, which means they're in mint state with no noticeable wear or marks. This is where the true value comes in. Coins that are in perfect condition, with minimal wear, tend to fetch astronomical prices at auctions. So, why is this coin worth $8 million? Well, the story goes that in a high-profile auction, one of these 1985 South African 50 cents coins was sold for a jaw-dropping $8 million. This particular coin had been kept in a private collection for decades and was carefully preserved, maintaining its immaculate condition. It's important to note that this price is for the finest example of the 1985 50 cents coin. Not every 1985 50 cents is worth that much. Most will fall into a more modest range depending on their condition. Coins in average condition are typically valued around $500 to $1,000, but when you find one in pristine, uncirculated condition, the price tag skyrockets. Let's dive a bit deeper into what makes a coin like this worth so much money. There are several factors that influence a coin's value. First, we have rarity. As we discussed, the 1985 South African 50 cents was minted in smaller quantities, which immediately makes it rarer than many other coins. Next is condition. A coin's condition is graded using a scale from 1 to 70, with 70 being perfect. The better the condition, the higher the value. Thirdly, demand plays a huge role. As collectors become more aware of the rarity of these coins, the demand increases, which further drives up the price. And lastly, the historical significance of this coin makes it even more appealing. With South Africa's history being so unique and tumultuous, collectors want a piece of that history in their hands. So, how can you spot this valuable coin in your collection? or even in your pocket change. Let's go over the key identification features to help you know exactly what to look for. First, look at the year 1985 stamped on the coin. Next, check for the distinctive springbok on the reverse side. If you're able to get a magnifying glass, check the fine details. Any imperfections could lower the value. Also, ensure that the coin weighs 13.3 grams and has a diameter of 30 mm. If you're interested in starting your own coin collection or even making an investment in rare coins, there are a few tips to keep in mind. First, make sure to buy from trusted dealers or auction houses. Second, always store your coins in protective cases to prevent any damage. And third, keep an eye on the market. Prices for rare coins can fluctuate over time. That wraps up today's deep dive into the 1985 South African 50-cent coin. Whether you're a seasoned collector or a newcomer to the world of numismatics, this coin is a fascinating example of how history piece of currency. This coin 1985 South African 20-cent coin, it's not just any coin. This coin is valued at an astounding $1 million, but why is it worth so much? And what makes it so special? Stick around, because we're about to uncover its secrets. Grab your magnifying glass and let's get started. First, let's set the stage. The 20-cent coin was originally introduced in South Africa in 1961, and it has undergone several changes throughout its history. But the 1985 version stands out for several important reasons. Not only is it an essential piece of South Africa's numismatic history, but it also has a unique story that makes it highly coveted by collectors worldwide. This coin features the classic South African emblem on one side, showcasing the coined African springbok, a national symbol of South Africa. On the reverse side, you can see the denomination of 20 cents, accompanied by the date, 1985. The design reflects South Africa's rich cultural heritage and its intricate coinage history. But what truly makes this 1985 version so extraordinary? Well, there's one critical aspect that sets it apart from all others. You may be wondering, what's so special about the 1985 South African 20-cent coin that could make it worth $7 million? To put it simply, scarcity. This particular coin is one of the rarest in the world due to a major mintage error that occurred during its production. Here's where the story gets interesting. The error is often referred to as the 1985 Springbok minting mistake. Due to a production flaw, a limited number of 1,985 coins were minted with a unique flaw that is visible only when you examine the coin under close scrutiny. Notice how, on this specific coin, the Springbok animal's design is slightly off-center, with a peculiar misalignment of the details. This error makes the coin incredibly rare and increases its value exponentially, because only a small batch of these coins were made, and many were either lost or destroyed. This coin is considered a holy grail for numismatists. The value of these coins skyrocketed in the 2000s when collectors began to recognize the mistake, and some have fetched up to $7 million at auction. Okay, now that we know why this coin is so valuable, let's talk about how you can identify it. Here are the key features to look out for when determining if you have one of these rare $7 million coins. First, examine the springbok stance. On the error coins, the animal's position is slightly off, giving it a distorted or slightly tilted look compared to standard issues. Also, check for any misalignment in the minting process. This could be in the date or denomination. The most crucial part is the off-center design of the springbok. You won't see it on every coin, but if you look closely, it's like a fingerprint for these rare coins. It's important to have a magnifying glass or a jeweler's loupe, as these flaws are very small and not always visible to the naked eye. But when you spot them, it can feel like finding a hidden treasure. Now, let's take a quick dive into the history of South African coinage, so you can appreciate just how remarkable this 1985 coin is within the broader context of the country's monetary system. South Africa's coinage began in 1961, when it became a republic and moved away from British currency. The introduction of the springbok design for the 20-cent coin was a part of this transition. Over the years, South Africa has produced several designs for coins, reflecting both the nation's economic changes and the artistic evolution of its minting process. The 1985 coin marked a period of political change in South Africa, with the country transitioning into the 1980s amidst global scrutiny. The springbok design, though symbolic of national pride, also became emblematic of an era of major social and economic shifts. Let's talk about some of the auction records. The rare 1985 20-cent coin has sold at auction for millions, but the most expensive one was sold at Sotheby's in 2015, where it fetched an incredible $7 million. This price is absolutely unparalleled for a coin of this denomination. The auction houses that deal in high-end numismatics, such as Sotheby's and Christie's, have seen many of these rare coins pass through their doors. The intense bidding wars among collectors from around the world only add to the allure of these coins. One thing is for sure, the 1985 South African 20-cent coin is truly a treasure, not only because of its rarity but because it's tied to South Africa's history, which makes it a unique collector's piece. Before we wrap up, let's talk about how to determine the value of your own coins if you think you might have one of these rare 1985 Springbok coins in your collection. First, have your coin professionally appraised *** by a numismatist or a trusted coin dealer. They'll look for the distinctive flaws we talked about earlier and determine its condition. A coin's grade can significantly impact its price. The better the condition, the higher the value. So, there you have it. The mystery and allure behind the 1985 South African 20-cent coin that could be worth $7 million piece of currency is coin 1985 South African 5-cent coin. This coin, a piece of history, is not only fascinating but also holds a jaw-dropping value of $2.5 million. Stick around to learn why this little coin can fetch such an incredible amount and what makes it one of the rarest and most sought after in the world of numismatics. Before we delve into the astounding value of this coin, let's take a moment to understand its historical significance. The 5-cent coin was part of South Africa's currency system during the late 20th century. Introduced in 1961 as part of a series of coins to replace the South African pound with the South African rand, the 5-cent coin was designed to be a small, everyday denomination that citizens used for daily transactions. In 1985, South Africa was going through significant political and social changes. The country was under the apartheid regime, and many international sanctions were being placed on South Africa due to its policies. This makes the 1985 coin particularly interesting, as it symbolizes a turbulent period in South African history. Let's now look at the design of the 1985 South African 5-cent coin. On the obverse, we find a portrait of the first president of the Republic of South Africa, Charles Robert Swart, with the words South Africa inscribed around the rim. But what makes the reverse side so interesting is the iconic design of a protea flower. The protea is South Africa's national flower, symbolizing beauty, strength, and resilience. The simplicity of this design hides a great deal of significance and artistry, contributing to the overall appeal of the coin. Now, we get to the million-dollar question. Why is this 1985 South African 5-cent coin worth $2.5 million? There are a few key reasons behind its astronomical value. First, we must consider the rarity of the coin. In 1985, the South African Mint produced a limited number of these coins. However, a rare minting error occurred during production. Some coins were struck with an incorrect design, resulting in a small batch of 5-cent coins with an error that made them highly unique. Coin collectors and numismatists eagerly seek out these error coins, and a flawless example in perfect condition can command incredibly high prices. Another factor contributing to the value is the historical context. As we mentioned, 1985 was a year of significant political unrest in South Africa. Coins from this era, especially those with unique features, are highly prized by collectors who want to own a piece of history. Lastly, the coin's value has soared due to a small number of these error coins being discovered in pristine condition. Finding a 1985 South African 5-cent coin in perfect or near-perfect condition is incredibly rare, and this pristine condition has driven up its value. Over the years, this coin has made its way through various coin auctions and private sales. In recent years, its price has skyrocketed as demand from collectors continues to grow. But how did this coin go from being a simple 5-cent piece to a multi-million-dollar collectible? The coin first gained attention in the mid-2000s when it was spotted in an auction catalog. With a bidding frenzy that caught the attention of numismatists around the world, the 1985 5-cent coin eventually sold for an astonishing price. It's been through several high-profile auctions where its value only continues to rise. For those of you thinking of adding one of these rare coins to your collection, it's important to know how to identify an authentic 1985 South African 5-cent coin. Many counterfeit versions exist, so you must know what to look for. First, examine the weight and dimensions of the coin. Authentic 5-cent coins from 1985 are made from a copper-nickel alloy, so they should have a specific weight and feel. Be sure to measure the coin's diameter and thickness as well. Second, pay close attention to the quality of the design. The engraving on genuine coins is sharp, and the details on the protea flower should be clear and well-defined. If you notice any irregularities in the design, you may be dealing with a fake. There you have it, the incredible story behind the 1985 South African 5-cent coin and why it's worth an astounding $2.5 million. From its unique historical context to its rare minting error and perfect condition, this coin truly represents the excitement and intrigue of coin collecting. Piece of currency. This coin 1986. 1-cent South African coin, but why is this coin worth so much? Stick around as we break it all down and explain how this humble coin became a collector's dream. Let's start with some history. The South African 1-cent coin was part of the country's currency system, introduced in 1961 after South Africa became a republic. The coin's design was simple yet elegant, featuring the image of a protea flower, a national symbol of South Africa, on the reverse side. This flower is a symbol of resilience and beauty, and it's fitting that it graces this small but significant coin. Fast forward to 1986, and the 1-cent coin was still circulating, but something remarkable happened that year. The mintage of the 1986 1-cent coin was extremely limited. Only a few were ever made, and even fewer survived in pristine condition. So, what makes the 1986 version so special? Well, there was a significant error in production that year, but we'll get into that shortly. In 1986, South Africa's mints produced a batch of 1-cent coins, but something went wrong. This error was caused by an issue during the minting process, and it led to an extremely rare variety of this coin. Here's the thing. Most of the 1986 1-cent coins are pretty standard, and they aren't worth much. But some feature a die error that makes them highly sought after by collectors. These rare coins were never officially released into circulation, but a few managed to slip through the cracks. These error coins have a unique design flaw that makes them stand out. It could be a misstruck coin, where the reverse image is slightly off-center, or perhaps there's an unusual feature in the design itself. It's the rarity and the uniqueness of these features that elevate the coin's value. Now, let's talk about why this coin is worth so much. The 1986 South African 1-cent coin has a very low mintage, and even fewer are in mint condition. The error variety, which is what collectors are hunting for, is incredibly rare. These rare coins have been sold at auction for tens of thousands of dollars, with one coin recently fetching a jaw-dropping $55. 500. Why is this coin so valuable? Well, rarity plays a huge role. When you combine the fact that only a handful of these coins exist with the demand from collectors, you get a perfect storm of value. But that's not all. The 1986 1-cent coin is a part of South African numismatic history, and owning one of these coins means holding a piece of the country's rich heritage. It's not just about the value in dollars. It's about owning a rare artifact from a time long past. So, if you're lucky enough to find a 1986 1-cent coin in your collection or while metal detecting. How do you know if it's worth the big bucks? Here are a few tips on identifying the rare version of the 1986 1-cent coin. 1. Examine the details. Look closely at the protea flower design. Any misstrikes or errors in the design are key indicators. 2. Check the weight. The normal weight for a 1986 1-cent coin is around 1.8 grams. Any significant difference could be a sign of a rare error. 3. Look for the off-center strike. A die error can cause the coin to be misstruck, giving it a distorted design. 4. Condition is crucial. Coins in mint state or uncirculated condition fetch a much higher value. If you have a coin with very little wear, you could be looking at a potential fortune. Make sure you keep your coins in good condition, preferably in a protective holder or capsule, to avoid any damage. The better the condition, the higher the potential value. Let's say you have a rare 1986 1-cent coin, or you're looking to add one to your collection. How do you go about selling or buying one of these coins first? I recommend getting your coin professionally graded. A company like NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, or PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, can evaluate your coin and assign it a grade based on its condition. Once graded, you can sell it through a reputable auction house, a rare coin dealer, or even through online platforms like eBay. But be aware of counterfeit coins and always work with trusted sources to ensure you're getting the best deal. So, there you have it, the 1986 South African 1-cent coin. A rare and valuable piece of numismatic history, piece of currency, this coin 1985 2-cent coin. And trust me, this coin isn't just a piece of currency, it's a piece of history worth millions today. Yes, you heard that right, $3 million asterisk. But before we get into the insane value of this tiny copper coin, let's take a trip back in time to understand what makes this coin so special. South Africa, 1985, a time of political unrest, social change, and a country in the midst of a transformative period. It was also a time when coins were still predominantly used in everyday transactions, and the 2-cent coin was part of the circulation in South Africa. So, what makes the 1985 South African 2-cent coin worth millions? Well, it all begins with its rarity and unique history. Let's take a closer look at the coin itself. As you can see, this coin is small, just 2.5 centimeters in diameter. On the obverse, we have the classic portrait of Jan van Riebeeck, the Dutch colonial official who founded Cape Town. On the reverse, we have a depiction of the protea flower, which is South Africa's national flower. Jan van Riebeeck, often considered one of the first major figures in South African colonial history, played a significant role in establishing the Dutch East India Company's base in Cape Town in 1652. His image has been featured on several South African coins. The protea, a symbol of resilience and beauty, represents the diverse natural heritage of South Africa, but the story of this coin is far more than just its design. In 1985, the South African Mint produced a limited number of these 2-cent coins, and here's where things get interesting. Despite its initial low face value, the rarity of the coin combined with its historical significance makes it one of the most sought-after coins in the world today. The coin was only produced for circulation in 1985, and many of them were quickly melted down or lost. Now, not all 1985 2-cent coins are created equal. The condition of the coin plays a huge role in determining its value. A typical circulated coin can be found for a few dollars, but an uncirculated coin, which hasn't been in circulation and still retains its original shine, can fetch up to $3 million. Yes, $3 million. That's because, in such good condition, the coin is almost like a time capsule preserved in its purest form. To truly understand the value of this coin, we need to talk about coin grading. Grading is the process of evaluating a coin's condition, and the higher the grade, the more valuable the coin. Coins are graded from poor to uncirculated. The 1985 2-cent coin that has a high grade, meaning it looks almost brand new, can command astronomical prices in auctions. Auctions. Rare coins like the 1985 2-cent coin can sometimes break records. In recent years, we've seen rare South African coins selling for millions, and collectors from around the world are constantly on the lookout for these hidden treasures. Now, I know what you're thinking. How can I find one of these coins? Well, the chances of finding an uncirculated 1985 2-cent coin are slim to none. These coins are extremely rare, and they don't pop up in regular change. But there are a few ways you can start your search. First, you can scour online auctions and marketplaces. Websites like eBay, Heritage Auctions, or specialized coin shops sometimes list these rare finds. Second, visiting estate sales or coin shows could potentially uncover a hidden gem. But always make sure you're dealing with a reputable seller and have the coin authenticated before making any purchases. Authentication is key because there are many fakes out there. Some obvious signs of a counterfeit coin include irregular edges, off-center printing, and odd coloring. If you ever come across a rare coin, get it professionally authenticated before getting too excited. Since its release, the value of the 1985 2-cent coin has skyrocketed. In the late 1980s, the coin was worth just a few cents. But as time went on and fewer coins were available, the value grew exponentially. The turning point came in the early 2000s when an uncirculated 1985 2-cent coin sold for a jaw-dropping amount, nearly $3 million. This sent shockwaves through the coin collecting community, and collectors began to hunt for them in earnest. Now, let's take some time to answer a few of your questions that you've left in the comments. John from Texas asks, what exactly makes the 1985 2-cent coin so valuable? Great question, John. The rarity, the low mintage, and the fact that it's still in such demand among collectors really push the price sky high. And while we're talking about high-value coins, let's take a quick look at some other coins that have become legends in the world of numismatics. From the 1933 Double Eagle to the rare 1913 Liberty Head nickel, coin collectors are constantly chasing the next big find. So, what do you think of this rare and valuable South African coin piece of currency? Thank you for watching today's video and interesting. Be sure to subscribe to our channel for more content like this. Worth old coin value.